my traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies, the dawn is breaking on the stage that holds our final destiny. And so, my traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies, don't dream it, be it, because the show must go on. And on today's episode, do you read Sutter Kane? If not, let me tell you all about it. Now, we actually have a lot out today because one of the decks that wanted to come out, I got a yes on it. We haven't had it in a while, but it is the new phone Who Dis deck. And in case you've never seen me use this deck, this is actually like, these cards are from like a game. It's supposed to be like a funny game. So when I read these cards to you, these are supposed to be like text messages, all right? And they're goofy, like they're meant to be goofy, but like, so wait, like you've got to kind of go with the essence of what the card is saying, and depending on the type of read we're getting, what the message actually means can be like really, really abstract. So we'll see how it turns out, all right? But what it's looking like from what I have on the board, because I have the overview energies flipped up. I didn't look under the deck. What's under here? I don't know. It seems like there's some sort of big change. I don't know if it's a positive one, because at the moment this is striking me as a bit high level. I'm not sure if this is something that like directly is involving the collective or not, but we'll see. There's some sort of massive like change or manifestation or something that is going to be impacting, I'm pretty sure this is two people over here. And somehow it is relevant for me to communicate that to you. So we are going to start with the overview energies, because the new phone Who Dis cards are on the, and I'm not rolling my eyes because of AAVE being employed. I'm rolling my eyes because it's sort of like the marketing of AAVE, like that's why I'm rolling my eyes at that, because I know people can take that a lot of different ways. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna start, because we're starting with the Death card, like I said, some sort of major thing, and I'm still not sure whether this is positive or negative, because the first two cards are major arcana and they are indicating significant change here. So on this Death card we have, are you seriously texting me this from your grandma's funeral? Okay, well, we might actually have a death. And I'm not saying in your family, okay? But there might be part of whatever's going on here might involve somebody's death. If it does involve somebody's death, I'm telling you, this is like a high level thing. Like this is something that you would be seeing about like on TV potentially. Like it would be someone that we all collectively know dying. Or that particular event is going to coincide with whatever it is that I'm talking about, if you're following me, okay? The second message is this you trying to flirt with me? So what we have here is there's some sort of significant, like perhaps kind of like it's a dour kind of energy, right? Even if this is not somebody, like this is not, I'm telling you, it's not somebody that like any of us would be related to who would be dying, but this is something like, I don't know, if the president died, like that's gonna significantly impact the country no matter how you feel about who the sitting president is, okay? If that happened, like it would be a weird time for someone to try and like, you know, make a move. So it's like, it's an issue like that. There's something going on culturally that like may have our collective, even internationally, there could be something going on where we're in a particular type of mood and somebody's not reading the room and they're trying to do something that seems inappropriate. So that inappropriate thing could be happening to us individually, like as the collective, or it could be that if this is all just high level stuff, somebody at a high level trying to do something that is very inappropriate given the like international tone of something. So an example of that would be like the comments, the cannibal comments that Biden, like all of that, okay? Like that's ridiculous. So the second card, if it's high level stuff, that's kind of what it would look like. The second card is Judgment. So we have Death and Judgment. And then our text messages here are, ha 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 ha, we're so going to tell our kids about this one day. This is an impactful event. I don't know what's happening. Something's happening. We're going to tell our kids about this one day. This is like, I'm sorry that I can only, like, what's coming to mind are like horrible events. It doesn't necessarily have to be something horrible, or like, don't take what I'm saying as like a prediction or a prophecy. But what sprang to my mind was like 9/11. Like, that is something that if you were alive for it and at least like a teenager, like, that's something that sticks out in your mind, okay? And even if you were younger, okay, it's just like, it's something like, that's something that like somebody would ask you, like, what are you doing? What were you doing on that day? Okay, so, but just because I'm referencing that does not mean that that's like what we're dealing with, or that I'm like trying to make a prediction about like terrorism or whatever, okay? So, ha ha ha, we're so going to tell our kids about this one day. It's been 3 days since you sat on my hamster. I need more time. So this is like a repeat though. There's something going on here where there's like something super significant happening, and there's a specific tone to it which is very serious if it's not like, oh my freaking god, and like some other energy or group of energies is like trying to like say something or do something that it's just like the timing on it is so effing bad. It's like, you, like, what are you trying to do here? Like, you can't just gloss over this, like, shut up, like, you know, it's like, it's very, very odd. And I'm interested to see like how this like plays out. So our third card here is the Empress. So let's see what the Empress has texted us here. I want to say no, but then I remembered YOLO, so yeah, sure. So this might be the person who's kind of like being weird in the energy. I'm not sure. Or it could be like, I don't know, the person who's being weird in the energy is actually going to end up like winning out. I just don't know who's talking to who. And I don't know quite what's going on. So it could be that like, even though this thing is like totally inappropriate, if somebody's like trying to get you to go out and like have a good time and you're just like, there are major world events happening here, you might eventually just go like, you know what, feck it, we're all gonna die, let me go and like go have a good time. It's something like this, like eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we die type of energy. Jesus, this is gonna be a popular read. So our final overview energy is the King of Swords. And the King of Swords says, sorry, gotta vlog, my subscribers need me. You know what? You know what? Here's what I'm thinking. I feel like this Empress and this King of Swords are representative of like how a number of people are going to respond to some sort of significant event happening over here. So I'm not even going to separate it out. I feel like Death and Judgment, whatever that is, it's the same thing. This is one energy, which that's wild. Like, that's like unmistakable, unmissable. So we'll see if we can figure out what that is. And that's like a national or international event, by the way. It is high level. And then when I have here, this Empress is representative of like a particular swath of like the population, like kind of looking at that, whatever it is, and like experiencing grief over it, and maybe having more of a, like an appropriate response. And then it's sort of like, well, there's actually like when you sit down, right? Like you can, if you are not like on the ground in that area and you don't have any kind of like political sway, like you can protest, right? You can send money through the appropriate channels. If you have the space and availability, let's just say like this included something like refugees or something like that. If you had the accommodations in your own house, were able and willing to house people, like you can house people, but you typically can't stop the thing itself from happening. You can just attempt to minimize the like direct impact of the fallout, typically. And so once you do all of that, once you take all the action steps that you can appropriately take within your capacity, you kind of sitting there and like agonizing over the thing that you can't stop, like that's not a productive use of your time. And I would say it's not really how anyone's going to sit there and consensually live their life. And so I would say that there might be like some guilt involved with like, well, should I really be having a good time when these people are suffering? And it's just like, your suffering is not going to solve. Is your suffering, this is how you figure that out, is you sitting there by yourself, suffering, actually doing anything for the people who are being directly impacted? If the answer is no, then whatever you're doing, it is just like self-pity. It is just you like trying to work through like your own privilege or whatever. And it's ultimately useless to whomever is actually taking the direct brunt of whatever. Like you going, like that's not doing anything. If you are not like on the ground or getting on the ground to take direct action or doing something like that, then like, yes, stay informed, obviously, but like, yeah, you're just gonna go live your life. That's unfortunately the way the world still works. And I don't know that it's ever not gonna work that way. Hopefully it'll change some, but I don't know. That's a mass type of scale change. And not all of us agree. So that seems like the way that some people are going to respond to this. And then there's a contingency of energies. It's kind of represented by this King of Swords, but I'm going to get very specific about that King of Swords. There's also a contingency of energies that perhaps are going to look at this event and not give a fuck entirely. And they're going to be the ones that are be like, come on, yeah, we know this is going on, but who gives a shit? Let's just go party. These are the people who kind of don't care. If it's not happening to them right in front of their face, they don't care. And so there's some sort of struggle with that, is what I'm seeing from a contingency of energies. And then who this King of Swords is representing. Sorry, gotta vlog, my subscribers need me. What I predict, there's a contingency of streamers. It's usually streamers, but it doesn't have to be. It can be people who vlog and things like that, who will be capitalizing off of whatever this, I'm saying this is likely, like I would guess, a tragic event. I don't know. It's striking me that way. I could be totally wrong. But unfortunately, when high stress tragedy strikes, that's when certain types of streamers do very well. And that's why I kind of disagree with this type of coverage, because you're not actually educating, you're not actually impacting from my perspective. You are just predominantly profiting and enriching yourself off of other people's suffering. And this is very bizarre to me. So there are, like, unfortunately, people that are just going to capitalize off of this. My subscribers need me. Because what I'm thinking of is, like, I forget if it was Logan Paul or Jake Paul who during the BLM protest, they were like vlogging at the riots, and it's just like, okay. So I'm gonna leave those cards up here. So this event, okay, let's go ahead and see if we can get any information on what this event is. Well, I kind of don't want to do this reading. All right. Let's see. This event, all right, well, it's going to involve a small group of people, right? A small group of people. And they're doing something. Knight of Pentacles. This is a long game as well. Whatever we're going to see, whatever this big thing is, it's going to be the result of like long-term planning, long-term work. And whoever these people are and whatever it is that they do, They are going to somehow get away, or we're not going to know who they are, and there's going to be some sort of investigation. Like, people are going to be searching for these people, like, because it looks like this, right? We are searching for the people who did this and left. All right? So let's go ahead and drill down and see, who are these people? First of all, all right, these people are the Knight of Cups. So whoever they are, they believe that whatever they're doing is like for the good. Okay, no matter what this is, no matter what it looks like, the people who did it, they believe they are the good guys. Okay? Or they believe that if they are not the good guys, that ultimately the ends justify the means. Three of Wands, this is at least three people. These could be people, no matter where you are, right? It's potentially people from overseas. This is something that is going on not where you, then it makes sense because I'm talking about something that we would be watching, right? But it's not going on where we are necessarily. So even if this is an event happening, like, let's say in your city, your province, I got to get more international with my language, y'all. Your village, and even like maybe we do have some people who still live in tribes. I'm not sure. But it's possible if we have, well, no, because I could have First Nations, viewers. They're still in tribes. That's still, the nations are tribes. So, no matter what, like, let's pull it down a little bit and say it's going on in your state, like maybe in your country, wherever. It's not going to be exactly where you are. So let's say it was like a riot or a protest or something blowing up, okay? It's going to be like a building that is elsewhere from you, even if it's happening like in your town or city, wherever. It is striking me more as this is potentially not even happening in the same country where you are, potentially. So these people are at a distance from you, or they came from overseas, or they are, no matter where you are, would be foreigners. Like if they came like to, I don't even know if anything counts as a foreigner in America, to be honest with you. But we, So, the Tower, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to say these would be, like if we heard about them on the news, right? They would be calling these people terrorists, okay? They would call these people terrorists. I'm not sure if that is, because depending on where you are, that word is reserved for a particular sort of person. And it changes from culture to culture, right? And it depends on what side you're on politically, who is a tourist and who's not, who's a pirate and who's not, like, right? Like pirate, privateer, like, but, okay. And here's the thing, is that before I pulled I was just like, please, because when I got these two on who are these people, I was like, oh, they're terrorists, like, huh! And I was just like, you know what, maybe I'm blowing it out of proportion. I'm getting strong terrorist energy from this. So let's go ahead and see what they're doing with that Knight of Pentacles, but it's like a Tower moment. I don't know. I get I get nervous about readings like this. This is something, okay, so our Empress is back on this. whatever they're doing, right? And it would affect the Empress this way, because it would affect me this way, because I'm kind of vibing with this person who's more being represented by the Empress. This is like, when you see this go down, if it does manifest, okay? I've got the Empress, the Knight of Swords, and the Three of Swords. If you are more in line with that Empress energy, you would understand. You would get why these people did what they did, are doing what they're doing, while also being horrified by it and, like, in general, when I'm saying condemning of it, it's just like, who is really sitting here, unless you're talking about something wild, okay, like a very, very tiny percentage of the population, okay, is really and for truly advocating for violence, for real. And I'm talking about, like, we're getting into like last resort measures when you're talking about stuff like that. And typically people are going to be like, no, we're not advocating for that. But it's sort of like, it's hard to talk about understanding why someone takes, or a group of people takes, a violent action without someone hearing that as, I approve of what they did. Just because someone understands why somebody or a group of people did something doesn't mean that they approve. But it's sort of like, when you start looking at certain things and certain conditions placed on people, it's like, I don't know what anybody expects. I don't know what anybody expects. And like I said, we are in the time of the Jack. If you don't know what I mean by that, don't worry about it. But there's the yellow transmissions, but that is for like a very, very small percentage of people who are plugged into this channel. We are in the time of the Jack though. And so, like I'm saying, you gotta expect turbulence for as long as we are in this particular period of the Jack, which could keep going on. If nobody is compatible with the yellow Jack, if there is no operator, whether they are conscious or unconscious of the fact that they are the operator, we could just keep repeating this cycle until all the shit collapses, okay? I doubt that's gonna happen, but for as long as we're in this particular stage of the international alchemical process, you're gonna have explosions, and that's gonna look a whole bunch of different ways. And this is one of the ways. And if you're able, something like this can help widen certain people's perspectives. So I would encourage anyone who is maybe going to use this moment, if it does occur, as an instructional aid, like, can we examine the ethics of that and what it's actually doing, and like maybe that particular video or that particular coverage, whatever, should not be monetized. Which is why I'm saying, I don't know how you handle that with streaming, but to me, like, there are certain things that you just don't monetize. You can even, like, because I can understand using it as a see, and this is like explaining a system and why certain things happen as they do. But seriously, it's disgusting. So that's what I'm saying. This is a heartbreaking situation, even if you might understand it. So let me go ahead and see what this Eight of Cups is, and then the Hermit. Oh my God. These people have some sort of home base. They have some, I got the Four of Wands, Page of Cups, Hangman. There's some sort of home base that these people have. And it's the Four of Wands. That's something that's portable. That's not something, so that's not the Three of Coins, right? The Four of Wands, that's something that is mobile. But like I'm saying, it's not a permanent structure. But I don't think, like, let's say these people, let's say it's happening in America, right? It might not necessarily be. These would be people from like another country, coming into America. They have kind of like a base of operations within America. So they're going to do the thing, and then they're going to retreat. I'm getting so nauseated right now. Like I'm sick. One of these people might sustain some sort of injury, or this might involve chemicals. Or it's like the imagery about it is going to be so horrific that it's going to like make people sick. Like y'all better watch what y'all watch, because like if people start doing live coverage of this stuff, it's like you're going to see horrible things. And I'm not saying you shouldn't ever be exposed to that, but it's just sort of like you kind of want to, like, that's what I'm talking about, why it's like unfuck ethical to be like advertising off of this shit. I lost hearing in this ear. These people are gonna retreat into this base, and they're gonna watch. They're gonna watch kind of what's happening. But they're not gonna leave the country. Yes, this is a working base. 4 of Wands, 8 of Coins. Page of Cups. So like Page of Cups, somebody's sick. Something's gonna happen to somebody because it's the 9 of Wands on the Page of Cups. This is like somebody's gonna get injured, somebody's gonna get sick. And that's what that 9 of Wands is. The Page of Cups is like medicine or like aid, first aid. Queen of Wands, 10 of Wands on this Hanged Man. That's almost like somebody like looking at the results of work. Like a lot of it. 6 of Coins. I don't know if these people were paid to do this, or if they received like donations from other people. The Lovers as well, like there's some sort of, I'm saying sponsorship. Other people were funding these, obviously, okay? Other people were funding these people, or someone in particular. So these people are not like acting alone, is what I'm saying. So even if like they try, like let's say because I'm gonna look at what this Hermit is. Even if they trot some people out, okay? These are the people who did it. I don't know that those people are like the main frigging people, okay? And I don't even know that those, like, I'm getting too conspiratorial with it. We're gonna let me not, because once we start heading into that direction, it's like, who's at the top? It's like, it's almost irrelevant to get into it, because as from a reader's perspective, it's not that it's actually irrelevant, but like in order for like somebody to affect somebody at like that level, you need very hard evidence, and you need to actually be able to convict like in a court of just gonna sit here. All right, this Hermit. The Queen of Swords, that is somebody aggressively looking for somebody else. That is an analytical person. That's like an FBI agent, CIA, something. Or someone at a lower level who would do the same thing. But it's a very like, that's like this two combination of cards, Hermit, Queen of Swords, that's like Sherlock Holmes energy. But it's both the Hermit and the Queen of Swords are kind of passive. So it could be that the person, like, we're talking about maybe the head of an investigation. So that person could be very stationary, but they have like field agents or something like that, right? Queen of Swords, 9 of Swords, that person's going to be, if it's anything like what I described, that person's going to be under a lot of stress to find who did this. Because it is possible that the event is like designed to induce some sort of mass hysteria or like chaos within a particular country. I don't know. And so if they don't catch the people, if they remain out there, it's gonna, it can fuck a lot of shit up. A lot of shit. So that person, whoever that Queen of Swords Hermit is, they're going to be under a lot of pressure to solve the case. And that's another thing. Well, I guess like they couldn't really lie about it, right? Because there could just be another event that, and then you're talking about also, if people get emboldened, you're talking about copycat events as well. Interesting. Well, it's not really that interesting. It's likely, well, this Sun card is either saying, and I'm gonna have to look at that final card, right? That this is just a continuation of the message. This person is under pressure to find them, to expose them. I don't know if that is a confirmation that these people will be exposed. Knight of Wands, potentially. That's cops. Those are the field agents, right? I don't know, but I mean, obviously that would be the intent. I will look at that. Ace of Coins, they're gonna find somebody. They're gonna find somebody. Ace of Cups, oh yeah. So there's gonna be some sort of positive result here. I don't know that we're gonna hear about it right away, but what they're looking to do is to contain the situation so that chaos does not break out. Four of Coins, Five of Wands. Get all of the parties in materiality, get them, because you got to remember what the Four of Coins like looks like. It's that person holding on, like get them. No Five of Wands, no Five of Wands, no chaos, no crazy shit. This is all crazy shit. Let me show you this. Five of Wands, Seven of Cups, Eight of Wands, crazy shit. Okay, that's like community, that's all internet. That's like people getting all crazy and starting to do shit because of whatever this event is. All right, so that's what the event is. In general, yay! All right, let me go ahead and see what's going on with this Empress. Oh my God. Oh, well, we got an Jesus. We got Justice and the Emperor underneath this Empress. Fuck. So that's a match. It could be that like there are people like I'm telling you, there are certain people because like the Empress is kind of like, let's just keep it as like a wealthy person, right? The Empress and the Emperor could be very wealthy people. So those would be people who like their contributions to a certain thing would like actually kind of make, I'm saying people like on our level don't make a difference by participating and contributing what we can, right? But of course, when someone has the capabilities of like, I'm talking about people who have the capability of like just throwing 10,000 to 100,000 to millions of dollars at a particular thing, okay? That's gonna move more than, you know, my maybe 100, couple hundred, maybe your $1, $5. It doesn't mean it's irrelevant because what we're doing is like grouping up, right? We can group up and have like the impact of one of these people depending on how much of us go. But I mean, you know, that's also kind of nature of things here. So it could be that this Empress kind of like is able to influence others, or these many Empresses, right? These many Empresses or many Emperors, whoever they are, could be non-binary people as well, are influencing others within high positions, Justice, Emperor, to take some sort of action here or to contribute something. Hierophant, Ten of Pentacles, that's somebody trying to get somebody, like these are high-level people or people with like lots of money, something like trying to do something within the system to create some sort of like, when I'm saying healing, it's not stupid shit. Like I'm not talking about those fucking celebrities who are like, let's sing a song on, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about real shit. I'm talking about like first aid. I'm talking about setting up like mobile hospitals. I'm talking about people on the ground, like fixing fucking food and feeding. I'm talking about that shit. I'm talking about heaters and clothing for people. I'm not talking about goofy garbage, all right? So that's what this person is trying to do, and also kind of expressing like some guilt about it, it seems like, but like, you know. So that's what's going on with that Empress. And then let's see what's going on with our King of Swords, who I'm kind of like saying is a streamer. Okay. This person, I don't know if someone's going to get a scoop. If it's going to come from the internet. I got High Priestess, the Sun, Knight of Cups. You know what's fucking weird? You know how, like, depending on who the streamer is, like, while like the government or whatever is like on the hunt for somebody, a streamer might actually make contact with these people and like conduct a fucking interview. And it's like a scoop. That's what that seems like. I'm gonna pull some more. What's on this High Priestess? Two of Cups. I'm telling you, it's like a secret alliance. With that cups, those cups energy, with the Seven of Cups, like that's like all internet based. That's all visual, because that's a scrying. Like the cups can be like scrying mirrors. Like something you look into, because I do also sometimes get the cups as phones. I'll get them as that. So there's some sort of like secret alliance, but I'm telling you, it's not that the streamer like teamed up with these people to like do whatever it is, but it's like them getting in touch with the organization or something, or like the actual people themselves to like interview them and say, like, give them a platform to say, like, this is why we did this. This Sun, I got Strength. Well, yeah, this is like signal boosting. It's exposure, but it's so like the Sun, the Strength on the Sun. Strength is often a boosting card for me. Boosting exposure over many phones, many channels of information that is probably visual in some capacity. But that could also be like many different channels. It's like disembodied information coming out of the air. So that is kind of like I'll sometimes get that as short form content, but that's like TikTok. In this case, it's coming across to me as like the internet, the TV, a podcast, streaming, radio. It's going to hit in a lot of different places. And then Knight of Cups, that is like a message. And we already saw the Knight of Cups. So it's like those people, whoever they are, have a particular message. Whoever this person is, they are boosting that message. And it could be that it doesn't have to be that they're making direct contact with these people. It could be that just the coverage alone is like boosting whatever it is. But I don't know, that Two of Cups suggests otherwise with the High Priestess, right? Nine of Cups, this is what these people want. Three of Swords. King of Wands, Three of Cups. This is somebody, I'm telling you right now, this is somebody, to me, this is somebody profiting or like having a good time off of this. Like the Fool, like, come on. Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm gonna pull from this deck about like potential consequences, because I can't, like, it depends on who it is, right? Because technically, I'm gonna forget now, like Edward Snowden, I think he's considered an enemy of America, maybe, but I'm pretty, like, didn't Joe Rogan interview him? I don't know, it's some shit like that. Because I technically don't know like what this event is. It's just registering as a certain category type of event, but that can look a lot of different ways. So that could look like, oh, you know what? Let me not get into details. Y'all freaking know. So if you're thinking that it's most definitely going to be the sort of person who like looks like this, is it in line with this sort of thing? Not necessarily, okay? Not necessarily. Devil under the deck. This is like, whoever this is over here, they are not going to be looked upon favorably by the world and potentially even the law. I'm talking about the streamer or whoever I'm talking about. It's a media figure. The Moon, the Chariot, and the Two of Swords. So that person could go to, it's uncertain, right? Okay, so the Moon. It is uncertain the nature of what like actually will be done to this person. I don't know, like, because this Chariot can be the authorities. I don't know that they would actually like be barred by the authorities in some way, like maybe placed under house arrest or actually being jailed or like something. I don't know that that's going to happen, but at the very least, this Chariot and Two of Swords is kind of like angry community. It's like this person's reputation, depending on who we're talking about, okay? But I would say a wider amount of people would consider what this person does, or these people, if it's multiple people, and I mean the streamer or streamers, right? Or the media figures. More people collectively are going to find what that person or these people do. They're gonna find it bad, okay? They're not gonna look upon that favorably, whatever it actually is. I don't know if there would actually be any true like legal ramifications like for this person. Okay, so what is the most productive thing, of course, that the collective can take away from this reading? Because I feel like, look, I don't like doing reads like this because I don't like scaring people. And to me, like, that's scary, what I'm talking about. There's something about protecting loved ones or protecting children. Page of Swords, the Lovers, Six of Cups. Defending loved ones. Defending people you care about. But the Page of Swords, like, that's not very effective defense, is, you know. Queen of Cups, well, defending loved ones, it's like caring for people. It's like defending people in a nurturing way. Oh, this could be me. Oh, hold on. This is almost like we said what we said. Okay. I could be off the shits, right? I could be being very, very egotistical and arrogant right now. I would go ahead and take that. But to me, what this first column is actually meaning, and what I have here is the Page of Swords, the Queen of Cups, and the Temperance. This is like higher forces to me at the moment. The point of the read is for me to fucking tell you if I'm right, because this is the thing, is like we're assuming that I'm not off the shit. And like, okay, we're assuming that this is going to happen. I am telling you because it's like the forces are like, heads up, shove it up. Okay, like get ready for something, potentially, right? And it's sort of like, I don't know, I'm gonna get more like on this Lovers or whatever, but right now I'm taking that column to mean the point of the read is me giving you the fucking read. So, all right. So then the Lovers, so you can kind of like, ooh. So anyway, the Lovers, Ten of Swords. You know, Knight of Swords. Y'all, let me tell you something. Whatever this is, if I'm not being fucking stupid or misled or whatever, this is like, people are gonna die. The Lovers, Ten of Swords. right? And I mean, based on everything that I've described, duh, okay? But it's sort of like, I don't know, man. It's something about like especially if you have children or something, there's something here where it's just like, I'm telling you specifically. So like, I don't know if certain people are in, like, how would people be doing that, protecting their kids or loved ones? Like, how is that happening? Because I mean, we can't just be in this state of, this is what I'm talking about, why I don't like this, is like, we can't all just be here in a state of fucking hypervigilance, right? All right, so how would we be doing this? Practically, all right. This almost seems like something like after the fact. Okay, like this is almost like if there's fallout here and if it's true, there's gonna be people who need things. What action can you productively take? And potentially this is involving kids, right? Because it's the lovers who have the Ten of Swords. Like people's parents or people's family members are going to be it. And it's sort of like they are potentially leaving behind children who need assistance. Or like, let's say it's just caregivers in general, because we could be talking about like elderly people who are left behind, who their children who are also their caregivers are the ones who like unfortunately die, but we would still as a community need to care for their elders, like that kind of thing. Or if somebody's like neurodivergent or something. But these are people who would not be able to take care of themselves, either just due to temporary circumstances, or we're talking long term, like we're dealing with like orphans and stuff like that. So that's what that is. It's not like, because I'm like, there's no fucking way I can like pinpoint this accurately enough to stop whatever is going to happen from happening to somebody. Like that's impossible almost. At least for me, like, I don't know, maybe there's like people who are way better at this kind of shit, but it's not me. Can we get any type of timeline on this? This is a kind of, you know it when you see it type shit. I kind of had the intuitive no, but the cards that flipped out are the Wheel of Fortune and the Three of Swords. I got the Page of Cups and the Four of Wands. That could be, that's the catch. That could be like 4 weeks to like a few months. Like the Page of Cups, it's not 6 months. 4 weeks to 3 months. But it's kind of like, it is what it is. I can kind of tell you, maybe it's that, but Wheel of Fortune with that Three of Swords is kind of like, hey, you'll know it when you see it, obviously. Is there anything that can be done to either stop the event? Let's say stop the event. Probably not, because like, why? Evil fucking people are doing this. Evil people. And I'm not necessarily talking about the tourists either. Okay, we're talking about things that have been in motion for a while. That is a symptom when you see stuff like that. That is the symptom, not the cause. The cause is something going on that you don't necessarily know about. So probably not, can't stop it if I am correct. Huge if true. What about, well, that makes sense for what I was about to ask. Am I actually talking to anybody who's going to be in the actual line of fire from this? No, I'm not. No. My community, the community who I am reaching, Four of Swords. That's peace, okay? That's not, coupled with the star especially, because when these are dead, it's not dead. It's peace. whoever I'm talking to, I'm telling you, and especially with that Three of Wands or whatever, it's like you're not going to be the one. You're more likely going to be the one watching reportage, engaging with reportage, making reportage, or taking that more Empress route of what action steps can I actually take to help people. All right, we're gonna move on to the final advice outcome. We're just moving right on into it. I'm not I'm just not, okay? Because that's fucking weird. But if you watch the channel, you know who I'm usually talking about. Final advice outcome. All right. Well, it's incoming with the Chariot. Two of Coins. Seven of Coins. Hanged Man. That's like something's gonna happen. That's gonna so here's the thing itself, right? Whatever this event is, I'm giving you a general read on it. It's gonna destabilize something. It's gonna throw us off, right? And then, but like all we're gonna be able to do is kind of watch how events unfold. And it's just sort of like, but we're gonna be shook, all right? Probably. We'll go around one more time. Yeah, I'm telling you, this work is designed to make people a little bit crazy, okay? And this is work that was also conducted in some way, like over various channels of like the internet or something like it. This Two of Coins, yeah, well, destabilize. It's upsetting. It's gonna upset people, and like there's probably, I'm telling you, the people who are directly impacted, I'm saying refugees, but this is people like getting out, like, so let's say it's like an explosion or whatever. These are people who have survived the explosion, like leaving the area, okay? And like, oh God. Seven of Coins, Seven of Wands, Ace of Swords. It might be hard to determine what the truth is of this, okay? So like be careful about what you're consuming, who it is that's telling you what, because remember, this is designed in some capacity to throw people into chaos. And if you are watching something that's like beware the spiral. If you're watching something that's spiraling that energy, it's like, that's not what you need to be watching, okay? You want to like very, very calm, like to me, like you want to wait, okay? Like if you are watching something that's at all advertising self like as events unfold or whatever, that's like the complete wrong thing to watch. You don't want to watch things as they unfold. Yeah, so yes, like, so the Tower is back out here onto this. We're gonna watch this. We're gonna watch something. I don't know. We're watching something, and then it's like, what can you give? That's the extent of it. It's pretty much just a reiteration of the message. So we will move right into the Sun and the Father. All right, let's see what. Get this shit. Jesus says, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. So, how many of us are actually going to model that? If this occurs or whatever, people are going to need support. They're going to need food. They're going to need water. They're going to need care. What of those things can you either supply yourself? If you are closer to this, if you are someone who is going to be an on-the-ground person, what are you doing in that capacity? If you are not an on-the-ground person, where are you directing your funds, your resources to people? Like, you need to somehow, right, make sure your money is going like directly to the people that need it, not like, oh my God. So that can be what like the internet can be good for, but be very, very careful about where you are directing money. Jesus also says, be encouraged, my child. Your sins are forgiven. So there's another bit about like despair on this. Be encouraged, my child, your sins are forgiven. Also, if you are feeling guilt, like I said, that's useless. It's understandable, it's useless. And it's saying like, hey, buck up, but like this is not the moment for your guilt. This is the moment to center the people who are actually being directly impacted. So it's not so much that I'm like trying to scold anyone for feeling some fucking feelings about what's going on, because I'm certain I'm going to be feeling them too if we're all experiencing this together. But at the same time, it's like take the action first for the people who are being directly impacted, then come back and you do that other stuff privately. I would say like the last thing that you're going to want to do is get up on the internet and be crying. So I'm like, oh, these people, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Okay, don't do that. Jesus finally says, blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness. So, I mean, there are going to be actual like causes helping these people. And those are the ones that we're going to be like directing money or aid to or whatever. But it's sort of like, and also this is just reminding us for these people who are going to need our help, that like those are blessed people. It is a fucking sin to withhold from them if you have the capacity to give. Okay? So let's go ahead and close as we do with the highest authority. That highest authority, of course, being Bob, our Father who art in heaven. We close with the word of Bob that is good all the time. Bob says, this is not something you should labor over or worry about. Enjoy it. If painting does nothing else, it should make you happy. This is about those conflicting feelings that I'm talking about. And that's sort of like, how can I live this way when these people are living that way? And it's sort of like that. There's nothing you can do about that. That is just the way life goes. And unfortunately, and that's what I'm talking about with all these, like why I'm not like a pure full-on law of attraction person, right? Because sometimes it is like people are cast into circumstances. It's not that there's no momentum behind the event that I'm talking about. It's not that it couldn't have been stopped at some point, but it wasn't. And you don't necessarily control where you are for those large-scale events that I'm talking about. There's no amount of positive thinking. I don't care what the fuck, okay? There's no prayer. There's no nothing. Sometimes you're unlucky. And nobody really wants to hear that. But it's the truth. Bob also says, they say everything looks better with odd numbers of things. Misha, are you here to cheer me up, my boy? No, he's here to eat the... I'm sorry, I have a snack right here. I gave you motives that you did not have, so you smelled my snack. And now I ruined my snack because I just crushed it in my hand. Oh well, I can get another one. They say everything looks better with odd numbers of things, but sometimes I put even numbers just to upset the critics. This is something about that streamer. And why this is not going to go well for this person, because that's kind of their attitude. Well, I just fucking do this. Like, this is just what I do. Like, okay. That's why it's going to go bad, because that person's energy is, like, shitty. Bob also says, there's nothing wrong with having a tree as a friend. So, you know, when we're talking about our own personal feelings about situations like this, and what is appropriate to be sharing publicly and what's not. Those feelings that we could consider more selfish to the situation, it's not that you're a bad person for having them. It's just that, if I'm using the example of like white women's tears, right? There can be something that like truly happens where like you feel bad about it, like as a white woman or who, it's gonna be a white woman. Or femme, about a situation where you realize something, you've been like impacting someone harmfully. Typically, people like when we're talking about the most benign version of white woman's tears, it is a real emotional reaction to understanding that you did harm when in fact you were unconscious to it, but yet you still did it. And so it's a shock and you're upset. But then if like the person that you have directly impacted harm-wise is the person you're in front of while you're having an emotional response, it's sort of like you're putting on top of the harm, you are putting your own emotional labor onto the person who you have harmed. Okay, so that's what that is. It's sort of like you need to excuse yourself. Like there's nothing wrong with like I'm saying there's nothing wrong with it. It's an inappropriate situation. What you need to do is you're just like, well, I'm having a response to this. I'm going to be here for you in the space. I need to go and handle my own, like I need to go over here and do this. Let me handle this and then I'm going to be right back. And I don't even know if that's like the most appropriate way to handle that, but like you want to go somewhere where you're attending to your own emotional labor, either with other, like in this scenario, it would be like other white allies or whatever to help you through that process. So the emotional labor is not being done by the people who have been harmed. It's the same sort of situation here to a degree. There is nothing wrong with the feelings that you're having. It's perfectly natural. But then like, you gotta think about the people who are gonna be like, filming this, like, you know, it's stuff like that. You have those feelings and you go and you give it to God, right? You give it to your therapist, you give it maybe to your friend group who is on the same level as you, or in fact, you give it to nature. You cry into Gaia, you cry into the sky, or into the trees, because those things are strong enough to take that energy and launder it, recycle it into something else in the way a human being, depending on their situation, is not necessarily equipped to do. So, my traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies, this is reality, and I am your GM, your game master for this, the game of life. I am also, of course, the greatest magician of the age and perhaps the greatest magician of all time. And together, you and I will perform the greatest magic trick of all time. We will reverse the polarities of the world, make America great for once, fly this boat to the moon somehow, shift our world onto the mega happy timeline, perhaps leaving it a much better place than it ever has been before. Because we are, my traumatized babies and mentally ill Barbies, crawling on the planet's face. Some insects called the human race, lost in time and lost in space. End meaning.